A LEGO Dark Age is a period of time where you drift away from the hobby. Whether it's because life gets busy, interest shifts, or you just lose that spark. It's bound to happen at some point, and just like anyone else, I also had a Dark Age. Mine was roughly between the years of 2013 and 2023. And during those years, I missed out on some amazing LEGO sets that I definitely look back on those years with a little bit of regret. But admittedly, a lot of that regret does come from the aftermarket prices, which are just insane. In honor of that 10-year gap, I thought it would be fun to pick one set from each year, but 2013 existed, and there's just going to be too much good stuff from that year, so I scrapped that idea. These are just going to be my top 10 from the whole decade. There's going to be some years where there's multiple sets from that year. These are just my 10 sets from the whole time period that I missed out on that I would have loved to have gotten. And to be fair, I did still have a little bit of interest throughout 2013, but it was really fading at that point, as I was turning to focus on more high school and social life activities. And my interest really did come back part way through 2023, so there's really not any sets on this list that are from 2023. But here are my top 10 sets that I missed out on from my LEGO Dark Age. Let's jump into it. All right, so first up at number 10 spot, we have the Forest Hideout from 2022. This was a gift with purchase from LEGO website, I believe, and it was for purchases of $150 or more. But it was just this little treehouse kind of build with the Forestmen shields that you can see here, 2 minifigures, just some greenery, the classic black tree, the blue roof. It's a very simple build, only 258 pieces. It's got the really nice classic old yellow boxes. I just love to see that. This is one that I would have definitely picked up as a gift with purchase if I was interested in LEGO at the time. It's just a cute little build, nothing crazy, nothing too huge, which is why it's at the number 10 spot, but it can open up and close from the back. It has this little target piece. Again, just a really nice gift with purchase. If they started doing more gift with purchases like this, man, they would make some good money. And now on to number 9. We have the Bookshop, the modular building from 2020. So this one is nothing necessarily spectacular to most people, but to me, I actually really like the coloring on this one, especially the house on the side. And one thing that I thought was kind of cool is how they can actually split apart into 2 builds, so you can rearrange them into different parts of your street if you wanted. I don't know if this was the first one to do this, but it's definitely a unique feature that I love seeing. It just adds a little bit more customization to your city. You can switch out the layout, and I think that's really, really cool to be able to do that. And again, the coloring, just really nice. The Birch Books building, this brown building, is maybe not the most interesting to look at. It's mostly actually the house on the left that I think looks really nice, with the window seat here that sticks out on the right side, and the coloring is really nice. The roof is done really nice. I just love how this side house looks. I've never been much of a person for city building, but the occasional modular building really speaks to me, and I just would love to get if I had an opportunity. It is a smaller one, so the interiors are a little bit cramped feeling, but that's what you get when you have an extra wall here in the middle, because it is 2 separate buildings, and then each building needs its own staircase, and so that's going to take up a bunch of room. It adds up space-wise, but I definitely think it's fun to have these half baseplate-sized modular buildings. And on to number 8, we have another modular building. This time it's the detective's office from 2015. Now, I didn't really realize it until I looked at it later on, but it is a little similar looking to the bookshop, where you have this blue small building on the right, and then on the left you have the brown building. Similar coloring, and I honestly don't think that has anything to do with why I chose it, but it was just a funny coincidence. So we have these fun green awnings down here, the pool sign, which is very, it just looks nice. It's a little bit of a unique looking sign. You have the little water tank on top of the building, the Owl's Barbershop, and I just love how it is 2 separate buildings again, but this time it's all on one base plate. And actually that base plate is a brown base plate, which does seem a little bit uncommon. The interior is really nice with the pool table, and you have this middle walkway with the stairway leading up to the 2nd floor. I just think it's a little bit more of a unique style, and you can play with more details and get some interesting shapes when you have multiple buildings instead of the whole modular set being one giant building. They have some nice detailing on the outside using, I believe these are some of those bionicle hands, although I could be completely wrong. That's just what it looks like to me. So a very unique part usage there. And the reason I put this one ahead of the bookshop is because, to me, it does look a little bit more interesting, a little bit more detailed from the exterior than the bookshop did. But that is the last modular building that I have put on my list. There were a few other modular buildings, of course, that were released in these 10 years, but these were the top 2 that I would have wanted to have picked up. And moving on to number 7, we have our first 2013 set, and it is a Star Wars set. We have the Republic Gunship. So this one we have the golden era, the golden age of LEGO sets, of LEGO Star Wars sets with the green box art. And I have to admit, Episode 2 and Episode 3 of Star Wars are my absolute favorite movies from the Star Wars series. So anything that is from those 2 movies, I am a fan of. Unfortunately, it seems like we maybe don't get that many sets from those 2 movies anymore, whereas most things are based off of episodes 4, 5, and 6, which just aren't that special to me. So in general, I don't care much for Star Wars unless it's from Episode 2 or Episode 3. So this set checks all of those boxes. It has amazing minifigures with the Padme, the Anakin, the Obi-Wan, and the classic Phase 1 clones. I did get the 2008 version of this set from the Clone Wars, and it just would have been fun to have this version as well. I really grew up just loving Attack of the Clones, and this set would have been so special to have. And then let's go ahead and move on to number 6. We have another 2013 Star Wars set. This time it is the Corporate Alliance Tank Droid, and honestly, I think everyone knows the reason I put this set on here. It is really only for that Jango Fett minifigure. Jango Fett was one of my favorite characters from Star Wars, even before I was interested in LEGO. So I really would have loved to have a minifigure of this. And I believe it was only $20 when it first came out. So that would have been just a steal to get him, where now, I don't know how expensive he is, but I know he's not $20 anymore. The build really isn't anything that special. It's just a simple tank. It comes with the battle droid in the dark orange color, which is actually a nice change from the tan, more classic and faithful to what the Episode 2 Attack of the Clones droids looked like. And then the Phase 1 Clone Trooper, which I really enjoyed, the 2013 Clone Troopers. But yeah, honestly, it's just because of that Jango Fett minifigure. I would love to have a good Jango Fett minifigure. And if it shows you how important Jango Fett is to me, I placed this set above the Republic Gunship just because of that minifigure. But let's go ahead and move on to number 5. This one is from 2021. It's a little bit of a sleeper set, one that maybe you wouldn't have thought of or guessed, but I thought it looked really cool. I love this style. So we have the Keeper's Village, a Ninjago set, and this is just this like Islanders theme style. I don't really know what the story is. I just thought this set looked really cool. I love the Islander kind of nature aesthetic, and getting some of these minifigures and parts I just feel like would be super fun to make some MOCs out of, or I don't know. It just looks so fun to me, and it's very appealing. These crazy masks that they're wearing look really fun. I would love to get these minifigures. This one almost looks like he's wearing a shield for a mask, which is pretty cool. I love the colors, the vibrancy. I have never been that drawn to some of the Ninjago sets, but I'm realizing it was because before I got out of LEGO, before my Dark Age, the Ninjago sets were a little bit more boring. And then it was during my Dark Age that the Ninjago sets really took off, and they made some really cool stuff. But I missed all the good ones, so this is just one that I noticed that really stood out to me that looked really fun. I had actually seen this minifigure before, but I didn't know what it was from until looking back on all these years of sets, and now I would definitely like to own him. Let me know, is this a set that you would pick up now if you were able to? But let's jump on to number 4. We have the Silent Mary, the last Pirates of the Caribbean set from 2017. I was a big fan of the Pirates of the Caribbean line when they were coming out, and this one, I think it's probably pretty fragile, but it is an excellent set, especially for display. Again, since I think it is fragile, I've talked to some people who have handled it, and they said it was fragile. And so this is probably just more of a display set rather than anything you would actually mess around with or play with. The minifigures are amazing. They have this new version of Captain Jack Sparrow, which has a more detailed printing on his headpiece, which is really great. They have this girl here, which I actually don't remember her name, but it looks like great printing on that. But mainly, it's the pirates where everything really stands out with these transparent pieces. This one has a transparent leg. This one has this ghost leg piece. And Captain Salazar, I think is his name, has this transparent head and just some really good printing on their faces, their torsos, their legs. Really excellent. And it has these ghost sharks, which are unique to this set, and the coloring is just really nice, a very nice aesthetic for me. I would love to have this set, have it on display somewhere. Honestly, just getting some pirate ships would be pretty cool for a display. But this one, I believe you're able to even break it apart or make it look like it's broken apart in some different formations just for display, or however you choose to display it. It has a little bit more customization. Just a very unique looking set. They don't really make destroyed looking pirate ships very often. So this is one I definitely miss not being able to pick up. And then moving on to number 3, we have from 2013, the Tower of Orthanc. A lot of you probably would have guessed that this might have been my number 1. And honestly, I did consider it, but I have reasons for why I put this at number 3. This set is really cool. Great minifigures. It is back before they started using the new leg piece for robes. So it's this old 2 brick tall slope for Saruman's robe, but it does the trick. This is Grima Wormtongue's only debut that he made in a set. So now that minifigure is quite expensive. Even the Uruk-hai got the special white hand printing, which is very sought after now. It has this tree beard, which is a nice build, but I know that's all brittle brown, so definitely have to be careful with that. This is one I definitely hope to get eventually, just because I would like to have all of the Lord of the Rings and Hobbit sets, but it is quite expensive right now, so maybe it's one I'll have to buy the parts for and then get the minifigures separately, something like that. We'll have to see, but this is one I definitely would like to have, especially pairing with the Barad-dûr set that just came out this year. It would just be really nice to have them both next to each other. It has this eagle for Gandalf, which is a very nice piece. Again, brittle brown, so have to be careful with all these things, but man, this is just such a cool set. Very sad that I missed out on this one. I was able to get the majority of the other Lord of the Rings sets, but I missed this one, and I'm a little sad about it. It does almost feel like it should come with more minifigures, more orcs, something like that, since it was a bit of a bigger set, but the 5 minifigures that it does come with are all very excellent. And then moving on to number 2, we have the Medieval Blacksmith set from 2021. This set is one I still would really like to get. It just looks amazing. The design, the techniques, the colors are all very aesthetic, and I am really a sucker for the medieval sets and the fantasy sets, hence why Lord of the Rings is my favorite theme. This is a set that just really speaks to me. The design is amazing. We have this little tree out the front, this apple tree. The use of the lime green leaves and the light green leaves are all very nice looking with that. The coloring of the blue, black, and sand green roof is really nice, and even the white and tan walls. We have this light gray chimney going up, lots of masonry bricks to make it look interesting. Even the minifigures look quite good. It comes with this little dog, this tan horse, the blacksmith, and some of these knights, just all very detailed, nice looking minifigures. We can turn it around from all angles. It really looks good from every direction. Every little bit of this build just feels like they put so much detail into, and I just don't feel like we see that often from a lot of LEGO sets. And it's just such a treat to get a medieval set that they really put so much love and care into. This was an ideas set, so that could be partly why it is so detailed. But this Tudor style really does look good. We have this little log area where they can keep their logs out of the rain to keep them dry. This little well that I actually hadn't seen until now, that looks very cool. This is one that just really displays well. I would love to get this, put it on a shelf, and look at it every day just because it is super cool. It even has this little bear skin rug on the inside. Very nice details all around. I really feel like this set has earned its spot solidly on number 2 on my list. And then at number 1, a lot of you may have guessed it, but this is the Lonely Mountain set from 2014, the last wave of Hobbit sets. This is the set, the only set that came with Smaug, and if they ever were to do Hobbit sets again, chances are Smaug would not be a molded piece, but he would likely be brick built. So this really makes this a one-of-a-kind feeling set from a past era of LEGO that may never come back. Getting the big bad from the Hobbit book and movies is really such a treat, such a dream to be able to get this dragon. They did a really good job with the mold. It is, again, sadly, all that brittle dark red, so we have to be very careful with him. But even the set, besides the dragon, is really nice. I love the sand green coloring with all the gold scattered around. And we even get 4 new versions of 4 of the dwarves with their Lonely Mountain attire. Very collectible minifigures that I would love to have. It is a little bit sad that they didn't make Lonely Mountain versions of all the dwarves, but I'll take what I can get. They have the Arkenstone here above the throne, which is a nice little detail to have. Lots of armor scattered around, gold, the dwarven runes, and it looks like even some nice play features. I love this transparent green axe that they have. Not sure if it's exclusive to this set, but just a nice inclusion no matter what. This may just have to be the top white whale set I currently have outstanding. It's definitely up there. In case you can't tell, I really love location-based sets. Almost all of these sets are location-based sets. For some reason, those are the kinds of sets that I really enjoy. So that is my list, my top 10 sets from my Dark Ages that I really wished I had gotten or still hope to get sometime. Fingers crossed, we'll see how that's able to happen, who knows. But let me know, do you like any of these sets? Are these sets you have, you wished you had gotten? Let me know below, and while you're at it, go ahead and let me know what 10 sets you would have gotten during your dark period. Thanks for hanging around. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I really appreciate you watching. I will see you guys in the next video.